Let them copy. Let them trace every curve of what we do, pixel by pixel, sample by sample. But while they scramble with second-hand recordings and guesswork, we're busy flying real aircraft and pressing
All sounds
record.
for Blue Sky Star simulations were recorded in real A320 exclusively.
Experience can't be faked, and you can't simulate soul. Our competitors stitch together sounds like a child gluing macaroni on cardboard and call it innovation. But when we build, we bring decades of cockpit hours, physics modeling, and access they simply don't have. You'll hear the difference, not in volume but in truth. Every detail, every word, click, hiss, and bassy engine growl is ours because we were there. They're chasing echoes, we're delivering presence. And the only thing louder than our sound, the silence of our imitators once this drops. This isn't just a sound pack. This is the closest you can get to flying a real Airbus A321 without leaving your chair. Crafted with obsessive precision by a real-world pilot and a professional musician, it doesn't just simulate, it translates the visceral, physical, emotional experience of flight into your speakers. This sound pack includes 13,891 lines of code and over 1,400 sound locations, totaling 1.5 GB of pure sound recorded from a real A321 using professional equipment, pilots, and ground personnel. It is physics-based and features smart sound logic. What you hear depends not only on what the aircraft is doing, but also where, how, and why it's doing it. From the whine of the CFM+IAE engines reacting to blade angle and altitude, to the deep bass resonance you only get after the wheels leave the ground, this is not a plug-in. This is a machine in motion. Every single sound was placed with intent, accurately positioned using spatial physics. Realistic attenuation, directionality, and environmental variation. Sounds change depending on system state, airflow, cabin pressure, weather, and more. Airplane CFM+IAE engine sounds. Engine sounds differ by location, inside versus outside, front versus rear, even which meter of the cabin you're in. Physics-based modeling causes high-pitched sounds to travel slower in the cockpit, with noticeable air rush and ground effects when taxiing or low to the ground. Real engine samples, thrust-dependent sounds, startup shutdown reverse sounds, and the famous CFM+IAE whine, yes, that one, all here. Altitude, speed, angle of attack, and even gear door position affect what you hear because they should. Brain system sounds, deep level simulation. Every major system has been recorded, layered, and intelligently triggered. Keel outflow valves, PTU modes, cabin fans, galley toilet ventilation, hydraulics, YGB. APU, packs, electric systems, brake fans, nothing is generic. Inside the cockpit, hear every switch, button, lever, flap handle, FCU dial, throttle quadrant click, seat motor, wiper position, spoiler lever. If it moves, you'll hear it. Oxygen hiss, door latches, Even the low thump of the cockpit door energizer, all mapped. Cloud ambience and environmental effects. Wind shears, fuselage rumble, rain patterns varying by speed and drop size, airport ambience, wing whoosh and turbulence noises, reactively triggered during takeoff, turns, and landings. Outside ambience shifts as your doors open or your aircraft orientation changes. Sound is alive, breathing with the aircraft's state and surroundings. Gear mechanical fidelity. Gear extension and retraction sounds. Main and nose gear touchdowns with over 20 sample variations per gear. Break a smooth landing record, you'll hear it. Slam it down like a noob, you'll definitely hear it. Real PTU bumps, brake motor thumps, flap actuator noises, centerline rumble, wheel squeaks, all included. People and cabin sound design. Authentic boarding and deboarding sounds. Passengers walking. Seatbelt clicks based on flight stage. 4 different airline configurations with unique cabin crew voices and announcements. Subtle Easter eggs, yes, even toilet flushes that add realism and replay value. Movie camera, watch the 3 attached videos to dive deeper. We could talk for hours about the obsessive craftsmanship behind this sound pack, but we respect your time and prefer to let the work speak.
100 above. Minimum